Hello?
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, there he is.
What's good?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Just spent like just trying to get this shit to work, man.
Got too many cables on this too.
Hey, what's up though, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Yeah, we just played we played uh We Out Here. You just dropped that a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just played We Out Here featuring Mr. Ammo,
And that was off. What was it Concrete?
Concrete Warrior 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the dope shit.
Yeah, sounds good, dude.
Yeah, I was saying how you were 2017 NAMI award winner. Congratulations.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was actually out here in Seneca country too. I had to miss the show, but
Uh huh.
I wish I went this year, man. Are you nominated this year?
I'm hoping, man. They're still doing the nomination process, so I got my album, the singles in there right now. So hopefully,
Yeah.
it goes good.
Yeah, I was asking Lewis like how long you been in the hip hop game and how long you been doing it.
Do what now?
How long you been in the game and how long you been working on music?
Oh man, I've been doing music since I was a kid. I mean, but as far as being in the studio and putting tracks down and making actual records, I've probably been doing that like, you know, probably close to 14, 15 years. And
Really?
yeah. So
Yeah, man.
It shows. It shows in your music, man. Sounds good.
Yeah, definitely
yeah,
professional.
man. I mean, I've been doing it a long time, and just these last 2 years that I've actually been pushing and it's actually been, people receiving it and the fans have been getting bigger and bigger and views and stuff are going up and
Right?
that's that's just all organic. I'm not out here paying these fake internet sites to give me
Yeah,
fans
I
and
was
all
gonna I
this
was gonna
shit.
mention that too because like some of your shit's got like 500 views, which is pretty good. Considering you're not buying any like fake plays or anything like that.
Right. Like I think my largest video, which is on Joey Styles' page, it's on his YouTube. I think our largest YouTube video is like over 100,000 views. So that's good. And then like my other ones on Facebook, man, they go a lot better than my YouTube presence.
Yeah, I think
Just because a lot of people are easier to share it, and the algorithm on Facebook,
yeah.
would rather you be a video on Facebook than you sending them to a different site. So
Yeah,
I think you
it's
definitely
all
get a lot.
strategic.
Definitely get a lot more like recognition, like with a video too.
yeah. I played your video for "Hate Me If You Wanna" in the beginning of the show.
Yeah. That's a good one, man. That was a good one. That was like an actual, like, just a spur of the moment type of fucking video, man. Which it kind of shows, you know what I mean? Like it's just a pop up shit. Just did it real
Yeah,
quick, couple of scenes, but it actually is. It's turning out to be one of the better videos, and like, that's an older song for me, man. Like that's like 3 or 4 years old, but
yeah,
it's new to everybody, so
yeah,
it's dope, man. And like, just to see it go from just being another track on the album to it being like one of the singles that has like actually put me in people's conversations.
yeah, man. It's definitely a dope video. It came out nice.
Yeah, man. The cat that filmed it, Beezy the Real Man, he's out of Waterloo. He's a dope rapper too, man, and he's just on his independent grind. And I try to link up with the cats that are on their own thing, doing their own thing, and making moves. How not being held down by some idea of needing a record deal or
Yeah,
any of that stuff. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Doing it like independently.
right, and it's okay to like get help. You know what I mean? And like get sponsorships and get like any of that type of situations. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, like these record companies, they make you think that you need them and all this extra stuff, but
Yeah.
you can do all this in this day and age. You can do all that by yourself now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I know there's like a dark
it's
history
really,
too with like a lot of the how you say industry artists, like how the labels kind of hold them back in a sense and kind of more or less kind of take everything out from underneath them.
well, yeah, I mean that's the thing, because when you're working with a label, man, so like when they're doing that to people, that's because they spent like a year or more like developing you, putting you up in a hotel or buying you or renting you an
Right.
apartment or a house,
Right.
and they're developing you as an artist. They're working with your wardrobe, your image, the songs with inside the studio. You could be recording 100 songs and only they pick one. You know what I mean? So like it's just a whole process that they used to do back in the day, where
It's like they're investing in
they
you or
would really
something.
take their time on an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And really develop a person, but. Now they really just want you to be internet famous already and already
Right.
have a following. And, they're just trying to give you those 360 deals where they'll sign you for a single, and then they'll push your single, and they'll sign a $1 million deal for that one single or two singles. And that's all you get paid for. And whoever signed that deal and put that actual promotion and that marketing to that, them are the ones that's reaping the benefits of the long-term sales of that
Yeah.
track or that single, And
I've heard of a 360 deal. What is that? Like,
so, like, it's really just stating the fact that you already have a presence, you already have fans,
yeah.
that they're just going to exploit that, and that they're going to use what you have already built, and they're going to put money behind it. And if you fail to meet the requirements of said deal, let's say they do a 3-album deal, or they do a two single deal, and you could be on that contract until they feel like they're going to get those 2 singles out of you that is going to be worth millions,
Yeah.
or they'll shelf you,
Yeah.
and they'll just leave you on the back burner and work with somebody until you got it figured out, or whatever the case may be. But like, all that is you're giving up your image when you do something like that. You're giving up your brand. Like, you're giving up your identity or whatever you have created on the internet and with your fans. You're actually giving them the permission to sell it and market it and put it on lunch boxes and backpacks and shit. You know what I mean? So like, you just turn into a product. You're not an artist anymore. You're just like, okay, workhorse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That reminds me, you guys like see those snack chips, and they got like those wrapper snacks, and they had like chips.
Hey, wrap snacks.
Yeah, it's like something like that.
Right. Like
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
the snacks. Yeah. See, that's the thing,
Yeah.
man. Like, them are the labels and shit. Like, well, I guess I think it was somebody else. It might have been Master P or somebody that brought the idea to the table. But at the end of the day, yeah, that's really what you're doing. You're just selling your image to sell product.
I
Whether
thought it
it
was a
be-
gimmick at first, but
Right. Well, whether it be chips or cubic link chains or bling bling and cars and strip clubs and bottles and whatever you want to call it, man. That's what they're selling, with that image and that lifestyle that they portray that really isn't real,
So how are you going about it? Like the whole business?
For me, man, it's just I'm doing everything organically. Like, I'm not like you were just calling, man. I was in the booth doing this remix to this song, and I do it when I want to. I got my kids in the other room. I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but they're here. You know what I mean? Like, I just do it organically, man. And when it comes to me, it comes to me. I've stopped really like going after songs as far as like, oh, this is the subject I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
And this is what song that I have to do right here. And I have to talk about this stuff. And like, I've did that before. Don't get me wrong. Like I've done that with a lot of my music, but lately it's just been like, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want it to be like, however it comes out, it comes out. I want it to flow like water. I don't want it to be, difficult. I want it to be effortless when I start writing, and it just comes out like it's simple, it's easy, it's quick.
Right.
And when it starts to become like I'm wondering what I'm going to write next, or I'm trying to think about what I'm going to say, or I'm trying to be all clever and be all metaphorical. And when I really start overthinking things, that's when I just turn the beat off and I go to a different song, or I just stop it altogether and I just don't even listen to that for like 2 or 3 days, and then I try to go back at it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where I've grown in my music creation process. Like I have so many people wanting to get on a song. Like, hey man, send me a song. Hey man, with anybody. Like for real. As long as it's like down my lane and it sounds dope and I'm digging it, I will fuck with you. But the thing is, it's like we literally have to come up with an organic song. Like I don't have like thousands of songs in my. I'm not Prince.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have like thousands of songs in my fucking music bin that
verse.
I can just send you a track. Like, oh, here you go, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna have to literally like shoot back and forth ideas. If we can't get together physically, like in the same room, then we're gonna have to shoot back and forth emails until we start to vibe what we're doing together. And that's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of hard, but it still happens. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, a lot of my friends, you know, a lot of the local cats that I rap with and a lot of the homies that I keep around me, you know, they say the same thing, and I tell them the same thing. They're like, man, let's get on the song. It's like, cool, then you need to get to the studio. We need to link up, and we need to fucking do something organic, like, and we need to make it up on the fly. And so that way it's dope. Like, it's new. It's not something that I'm trying to figure out. You know what I mean? And
yeah, man, I totally get that. Like, it's almost like it's more creative when you do it like that, too.
Right. And now that I have like a producer on my side, I've been working with the same producer for like 2.5 years, 3 years now. And like, when I really get into my mode, I like to just have him here and creating a beat while we're just all chilling. And then it just happens. You know what I mean?
So like you could create the beat and the lyrics like at the same time.
Yeah.
Same session? Yeah.
Yeah, same session, everything all at the same time, man. So like,
oh yeah, it's cool.
That's
like that.
what I like to do now, and
Yeah.
I think I spoiled myself doing that because I find myself not being able to get the motivation unless I'm in that creative setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't even write too much anymore unless I put myself in that setting. You know what I mean? And it's like. Until I can get that feeling, you know, I guess it's like an addiction, man. It's almost, you know, I mean, writing music is my life, so it's just evolved over the years. And you know, I used to be able to put on any beat. I used to freestyle, battle rap. I used to do all that stuff, and like I don't even freestyle really much anymore. I mean, maybe, you know, I don't know, not really.
Hop in a cipher. Everybody else.
Right, you know, I don't do much that anymore, you know, I don't know.
Right.
And I feel like that's just the levels that you go through. And until I feel like somebody's like, oh, I'm going to challenge Sten Joddi, you know what I'm saying, on this or that, you know what I'm saying, which I have homies out there that's always telling me, hey, man, come freestyle with us and stuff. And it's like, I haven't trained myself in a while. And that's literally what you do when you're a battle and a freestyle rapper. Like, you literally every day are training yourself for dope fucking like dope bars. Like you're just memorizing dope bars in your head, like so you can just pull them out of nowhere and just kill somebody with them. And like I don't do that much anymore. I got my kids. I got like shit I got to do. My job. I got tattoos and like all that extra like walking around or sitting on a city bus thinking about rhymes is like. That shit is old for me right now, but I respect it because that's definitely where I came from. That's definitely what I used to do, and that's you know definitely a huge part of hip hop. And like, but I just don't do that much anymore, man. And you know that's why I stay away from it too because I do respect it. Like I'm not gonna walk into a battle and know that I'm not prepared. You know what I mean? And this dude is ready to eat me alive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, yeah, man. I mean, that's the way that goes. But
yeah, I like what you're saying about like how you just kind of let it come to you now instead of just sitting there and trying to like force it out of you.
Yeah.
You just kind of more or less like let the lyricism come to you and just kind of like
and I try not to like I really try not to have this pre-notion in my head, like this biased idea, like, okay, I gotta please a certain type of people when I'm about to start writing. Like, oh, I'm gonna make sure that all my natives are gonna love this track, because if they don't, then all of them are gonna hate me. Or I'm gonna make sure that all my white fans, man, they're gonna like this, and my natives might not really like it or not. And like, I'm tired of worried about all those like little things.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like putting it out there, man, and like, I'm not even worried about like. I'm not even worried no more. Like, either they like it or they don't, man. You can push play or you can skip it. You know what I mean? That's just where I'm at.
And like you said, how you maybe put too much thought into it sometimes, and then that kind of puts up the, how you say, the block or the wall, where it kind of puts you
right. And I think when you're forcing it sometimes, I mean, you can hear it in the track. You can hear it, man. You can that this person is struggling with trying to get through the track, or he's forcing it through him, and he isn't being organically, or he's not being like himself on the song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've really tried to like hone in, just like being myself, having my own tone, like how I'm talking to you right now. Is how I'm approaching a lot of the songs lately, is like not trying to make this pretend voice when the recording button hits.
Yeah.
And just give, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people do that shit.
For
real.
You
hear me right now, like, it's all good, what's good. And then when the recording button hits, I'm like, yeah, what's going on, yo? What's up? And shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And I just want to be me. Right, and I want it just to sound good. And, I've really been listening to, like, a lot of cats that are underground, and also like a lot of these newer lyricist cats, like J. Cole and Logic and Kendrick Lamar, and like all these lyrical conscious rappers that are out, and like a lot of people will hate on us. Oh, we don't want to hear that bullshit. We just want to feel good music. We want to talk about Zans and popping Molly and all this extra shit. But I really like that there's still hip hop artists out there that actually write fucking lyrics and like try to make you think, even if it's like, even if it is a party song, man. Like, Tupac still had party songs, man. He still fucked bitches and did all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's still like, we hate on all these young kids for doing what they're doing, but at the end of the day, like, what if Tupac had a fucking iPhone 10, man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what would he do with a Snapchat or Instagram? Fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a crazy thought, man. Just thinking about it.
We hate on 6ix9ine, and we hate on all these guys doing this flamboyant ass goofy shit online. Yet, if you rewind, the wildest, craziest fool out there was Tupac doing the wildest shit in front of the TVs, man. So, I mean, give him a fucking phone in 2018 and see what Pac would have done. Come on, man.
Yeah, for real.
People need to just get off of their high horse, let these kids be rappers, and then do your own thing. If you don't like it, then cool. Like, keep doing what you do. Don't get mad at them for doing what they're doing, because, I don't care what nobody says, man. Like, music is music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a vibe. Like, some people vibe with your stuff, some people don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really love it.
I did used to be a hater. I did used to be a hater on that mumble rap. I did. I was talking shit back in the day when it first started happening. But then again, I had to reevaluate my thought process and go, okay, now why are they doing this, and why is it so popular? And at the end of the day, it's just sound. Yeah. It's just a vibe.
Right.
It's just a feeling. You know what I mean? And that's why they like it. I mean, nobody knows what jazz is.
Yeah.
It's just random ass sounds and noises. Even the vocalist doesn't make sense sometimes.
Right.
Like, they don't even say words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's millions of fans that love jazz.
Right.
So, like, again, like, you got to put different perspectives on all this shit, man, just so that way, that's why I re-understand everything a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So, I can't hate on nobody doing music, man.
Hey, man, let me ask you, being urban native, what does that mean?
So, an urban native, man, is just it's it's possible of two different things. So like an urban native is just somebody that is not necessarily raised on the res. Now, he may not be a city native, like from the big city. But he's not from the res,
right?
You know,
right.
And also on
Indian.
top of that, it's you know, to me, an urban native is somebody that was raised in a way that they weren't connected to their culture at first. Slash, you know, then again, there are the ones that still were raised on the res, still connected to their culture, yet they're still urbanized because, you know, they like rap music, or they like McDonald's, or they like Nike shoes, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, you know, you're not a traditional native that has been cut off from the world.
Right.
You like TV, you like popcorn, you like microwaves and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like that's an urban native in my mind. You know, and then on top of that, it could even go a little bit deeper and say, well, an urban native is somebody that likes hip hop and likes the hip hop culture, and you know, the music, the dance, the fashion, all that stuff. You know, that's definitely an urban native as well. But urban natives could mean anything. You could be a cowboy and be an urban native. You could be, you know, a rock and roll guy and be urban. You know what I'm saying? It's just you're definitely sometimes not connected to your roots as far as, you know,
it's kind of like
maybe
modernized.
possibly now, like me now, like I've learned and I've asked questions over the years. I was raised colonized mind. I wasn't raised around my people. I wasn't raised around my heritage, and I played baseball and I played football, and I thought, you know, that, you know, I was going to be one of those superstar jock guys. And, you know, then I got into the streets and into some hard stuff where football and all that stuff was out the window. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that idea that what you think you have to be. And, you know, again, that's just the mindset of many years of making us not have an identity.
Right.
You know,
absolutely.
We were, you know, we were put in places and put in situations where we were told that we cannot be Indian, we cannot be Native.
Right.
And, you know, my dad, you know, now that I know now, but before I was angry at him for not giving me all, I thought I was robbed and of things. And you know, it's not his fault either, because he's just the subject of the same raising, you know,
right.
And his grandparents, in his grandparents' situation that raised him, you know, they were told, you know, if he comes to school again talking his language, we're going to put him in boarding school. If he comes to school again with long hair and you don't cut his hair, we're going to put him into boarding school. We're going to take your child away from you if you don't make him be, you know, white or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I didn't know all of this until I started asking questions as I'm an older man now. And, you know, now I realize, you know, I can't blame my father. You know, he is a little bit of a product of his environment, yet, you know, we are still all conscious humans, and we make our own choices, of course. But sometimes those choices are kind of already, the snowball has already started for that choice. And it feels like sometimes you can't hold that snowball back. You just got to go with what you know. And, you know, so that's where I'm at on all the urban native and the traditional native and all that, man. It's like, you know, some of us didn't have a choice.
Right.
I feel like I've had res kids come up and tell me, you know, hey, man, I wish I lived in the city like you. I wish I lived in a town like you. You know, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. And I said, look, man, you know, you're sitting here telling me you wish you had this and you wish you had that. You know, I want to look at it from this way and say, hey, man, I wish I had what you had. I wish I had grandparents at home that knew the traditions and knew our language. I wish I had my father asking me right before the weekend, am I coming to ceremony? Do you got your stuff together? Are you guys ready to go to ceremony this weekend? Are you ready to go sweat? I wish my dad was there to show me and tell me these things. You know, unlike you have it right there in your own home, or you have it down the street at your uncle's or your grandparents' house. you have it right there. And, you know, when I put it in that perspective, they go, you know what, you're right. You know, they're like, man, I didn't ever look at it that way. You know, all I worry about is what I don't have. And I've never thought about what I got at home and what other natives might be wishing they had,
Right.
you know, and that's the thing, man. It's like, we have to stop this colonized mind of, oh, I'm more Indian than you,
Right.
or, you know, I'm a better Indian because I know more of my culture than you do.
Yeah, I
You know,
think that's part of the whole thing too. Like, is the decolonized mind. Like, you could be from, you know, native traditional territory or from the middle of a city, as long as you don't think with that Western European mindset.
right, man. And that's the thing is that they've created a world where they have conquered and divided us into, you know,
Yeah.
this is why they give us all different treaty deals,
Right.
so that we can argue amongst ourselves on who got the bigger piece of chicken, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we can argue amongst ourselves and hate on each other because, you know, this guy's pushing an Escalade and I'm pushing a Pinto.
Right.
And this tribe gets, you know, a casino and we don't get shit.
Yeah.
And this, you know, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And all it is just to put a wall between, you know, native people, period. You know, and until we all realize that, and we all realize that we're all one situation, you know, even though we're all separated into tribes and we all can have our own pride for our own traditions and our own, but we're all one,
Right.
you know, nation essentially, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Absolutely.
And we have to start acting like that. We can't, when it's time to rise up and fight for the right things, man, we can't go, oh, well, that's, my tribe is not going to agree with that, so I better step away from this. You know, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like we have too many, we're trying to please too many people, and we're starting to be like these politicians, man, and we're making
Right.
decisions
Right.
based on political gains and political agendas, you know. Even the principal chiefs and all these other people, man, all these council members, you know, we're worried about all these other things when on our own lands, you know, we have predators. We have predators
Right.
that claim to be leaders in our own communities that are preying on our young ones and our children and our women, and you know, we're not saying anything because we're taught to, you know, respect your elders and not say nothing to them, and you can't, you know, and you know, we gotta start within before we can start
Yeah.
pointing fingers at everybody else, and we got to start fixing ourselves from within, from our mentality to
Yeah.
our physical and health, our food, what we're eating,
Right.
and you know, and of course the alcoholism and all these other extra things are huge and big deals. But if we can get our people to start eating healthy, start getting right mental health, you know, mental illnesses and stuff like that, we start getting help with these things, you know, we're gonna get back to the Creator. It's gonna be there, you know.
Right.
It's inevitable when you start living correctly that, you know, you're gonna feel closer to the Creator. You're gonna feel closer to the universe, and you know, you're gonna start understanding. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
until we start acting right and being correct, and you know, we can't be pointing fingers at everybody else as well. You know, I mean, yeah, we need help, but you know, we need to start helping ourselves as well. And I think that's like a taboo idea in Indian country.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to talk about it like it's our fault. You know, and we want to push blame, but we don't want to look within and say, okay, well, I need to stop drinking, or I need to stop doing drugs, and I need to start, you know, focusing on my family and maybe getting back to ceremony, and maybe, you know, getting back to what really matters, you know, family and love and stuff. And that's just, you know, I do this every day. You know, I appreciate my family every day and everything that has came to me because of my wife and because of my family, you know, I'd probably be dead or in jail, prison, you know what I mean, or whatever, if it wasn't for my wife and my kids, you know, changing my life. You know, on top of the music, on top of the tattoos, like they're all contributing factors to saving my life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if everybody can just try to, you know, figure out what their purpose is, even though you don't know your purpose, you have one. You know what I mean? Everybody's got one. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes it's harder for others to see what it is. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, man, thanks for coming on and dropping some knowledge today.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, you're going to have to come on again, man, definitely.
Yeah, man. And, you know, if anybody wants to check out my stuff, you know what I mean, just tattoomusic.com. That's tattoos, tattoo music, MUZIK.com. And, you know, I'm on all the music sites. So
SoundCloud, iTunes, whatever, man.
Yeah, everything, man, everything. So, like, just Google Sten Joddi if all else fails, you know what I'm saying?
I'll put the links in the video description, too, when I'm done.
Dope. Cool. That's what's up.
All right, man. Thanks for calling, man.
Get back in the booth.
Yeah. I'm I appreciate it, man. Yep. I'm gonna get in there and lay this down. Probably have something new out tonight. So.
Nice. All right, man.
All right, y'all.
It's going good.
Yeah, peace, love.